Okay, let's get right into it. Our deep dive today tackles a really contentious finding.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's about the relationship between intelligence, your genes, and where you land politically.
And it all centers on this major 2024 study, Edwards et al. They used what are called polygenic scores, or PGS.
So that's like a cumulative measure of your smart genes.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And they looked at how these scores for cognitive performance line up with political beliefs.
And the headline finding was just huge. It found that even within the same family, the sibling with the higher PGS for intelligence, they tend to be more socially liberal.
And less authoritarian.
Right.
Even when raised in the exact same environment.
Which immediately led to this cognitive supremacy idea.
Exactly. The theory that a smarter brain just acts as a better filter for truth,
Mhm.
and that truth inevitably, looks liberal.
But our sources, they present a really fascinating counterargument. The whole point of this deep dive is to show that this correlation isn't about the validity of the belief.
No, it's about what they call the adaptive alignment of a cognitive style with the modern Western elite.
So let's unpack that. There are four big confounding factors we need to look at.
Right, let's start with the genetics itself. The first confound is something called genetic pleiotropy. The correlation, it seems, it largely just reflects a shared genetic link to the personality trait of openness to experience.
And openness isn't just, liking new foods or travel. It's a deep craving for novelty, for complexity, for challenging norms.
Precisely. And the genes that help build a fast, complex brain are often the same ones that build a brain that seeks change.
So liberalism is the politics of change, and conservatism is the politics of stability.
And that's the connection. So the smart sibling isn't necessarily a better policy analyst. They're just biologically wired to be a change seeker.
Okay, so genetics points to personality. But what about the type of intelligence we're talking about?
That's the second confound, and it's critical. The correlation is driven almost exclusively by verbal intelligence, VIQ.
Not performance IQ, so not mathematical or spatial reasoning.
No. We're talking about people gifted with language, with symbols, with abstract concepts. They gravitate towards professions like academia, law, journalism.
The verbal elite.
That's the term, yeah.
Yeah.
And for this group, our sources argue that adopting modern liberalism becomes an expression of rational class interest.
Meaning they support the system that values their specific skills the most?
Exactly. They support the large, bureaucratic, regulatory state because that's the arena where their expertise as manipulators of words and rules is most powerful.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so that brings us to the system that certifies this elite, the university.
Confound number 3, the educational attainment PGS, the one that predicts success in school.
Yeah.
It's a dirty measure.
What do you mean by dirty?
It doesn't just capture raw intelligence, it's also capturing non-cognitive traits. Things like conformity, institutional compliance, being good at school.
So high intelligence is the ticket in the door.
It's the ticket in, but the university itself is the primary ideological sorting hat of the modern West. The high PGS sibling isn't just smarter, they're also genetically better at absorbing the norms of the institution they're in.
So it's not them independently reasoning their way to liberalism.
It's more like successful enculturation.
Yeah.
They have high socialization efficacy, they're good at learning the rules of the game, and in today's academic game, the rules are overwhelmingly liberal.
Which leads to the final piece of the puzzle, status.
The fourth confound, status signaling. Political beliefs function as a type of social currency, cultural capital.
And you need that high verbal intelligence just to keep up with the complex, ever-shifting language of progressive ideology.
Mastering the lexicon is the signal. And this leads to the idea of luxury beliefs.
Right, these are ideas that sound virtuous and give status to the elite, but they inflict real costs on people who are less fortunate.
The classic example being defund the police.
Advocated from a safe, wealthy neighborhood, it signals your sophistication, your anti-authoritarian bona fides.
While you're completely insulated from the consequences, the correlation then isn't measuring a path to truth. It's measuring the insulation of the intelligent class.
So when you put it all together, the data doesn't really show that intelligence leads to correct political views. It maps the sociology of the cognitive elite.
And this is the crucial takeaway for you, listening. Intelligence is so often an advocate, not a judge. Your cognitive ability gives you cognitive ammunition. It makes you better at rationalizing and defending whatever tribe you've already joined.
So if the data shows that high IQ individuals are just better at defending their chosen side, here's the thought to leave you with. What political belief are you using your cognitive gifts to defend right now?